Greeting to our beloved viewers who have come to 24 Hours channel. We wish you and all the viewers good health to watch the latest, hottest, and most accurate information that 24 Hours channel will bring to you right away. Please join us.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tanwen News from Beijing reported on Monday that the flood report from the Ministry of Water Resources on the 24th showed that the Shaling River and the Northwest River, a branch of the middle reaches of the Songhua River in Heilongjiang Province, the Donglia River in Jilin, and the Galia River, a branch of the Tao River, the upper reaches of the Liaohe River in Liaoning, and the Boxer River, a branch of the Ganjiang River in Jiangxi Province, all have floods above the warning level. On Monday, the Ministry of Water Resources held an analysis meeting to assess the trajectory and impact of Typhoon Doksuri and arrange and deployed key tasks for flood and drought prevention. Provinces such as Guangxi, Sichuan, Anhui, and Shandong were ordered to carry out flood prevention and response to heavy rains. The Tongliu Committee of the Ministry of Water Resources in Kangzhou will maintain emergency response level 4 for flood control, while Sichuan and Fujian will initiate emergency response level 4 for flood control. Currently, there are 4 working teams directing flood control efforts in Zhejiang, Guangxi, Sichuan, and Liaoning. The report predicts that from 8 a.m. on Monday to 8 a.m. on Tuesday, there will be heavy to very heavy rains in eastern Sichuan and southeastern Guangxi. Floods are expected in the lower reaches of the Nen River in Guangxi and the lower reaches of the Jialong River and Da River in Sichuan, the upper reaches of the Cam River in Jiangxi, and the upper reaches of the Dan River in Fujian. Super floods may occur in some small and medium-sized rivers in areas with heavy rainfall. The Water Resources Department will pay close attention to the typhoon's trajectory and the process of heavy rainfall, strengthen on-duty work, provide guidance and predictions to relevant areas, conduct hydrological monitoring, early warning and disaster reduction planning for reservoir safety during the flood season, and enhance flood prevention and drought relief efforts. Ladies and gentlemen, at present, at least 5 people have been killed, 3 are missing, and more than 1,500 people have been evacuated due to heavy rains causing floods in eastern China, as reported by state media on Sunday. The floods have devastated a village in Fine District, Hangzhou, on Saturday afternoon, submerging many houses. According to CCTV, the heavy rainfall has caused several landslides and mudslides, affecting various areas, and more than 1,600 households have lost power. According to Xinhua News Agency, more than 1,500 people have been evacuated. Seasonal floods are common in most parts of China, especially in the southern subtropical regions. However, some northern regions have experienced the worst flooding in 50 years this year. This month, floods have struck different regions of the country, resulting in casualties. Earlier this month, floods in southwestern Guangxi killed at least 15 people. Heavy rains also turned several streets in northeastern Liaoning province into rivers, forcing 5,590 people to evacuate, according to CCTV on Sunday. About 30 houses and 54 hectares of crops were damaged. In central Hubei province, torrential rains trapped some residents in their cars and homes. Authorities rescued or evacuated about 220 people in Hengyang City as of Saturday night, according to the state-owned People's Daily. In 1998, the worst and most devastating floods in modern Chinese history killed 4,150 people, mostly along the Yangtze River. In 2021, the death toll in Hubei province, central China, exceeded 300. On July 20th that year, record-breaking rainfall inundated Zhengzhou, the provincial capital, turning streets into raging rivers and flooding at least some subway lines. Ladies and gentlemen, in the coming week, people need to be vigilant about the impact of Typhoon Doksuri on China. According to the forecast from the Central Meteorological and Hydrological Observatory, Typhoon Doksuri will make landfall on the coast from central Fujian to eastern Guangdong around Friday. Affected by it, Taiwan, eastern Zhejiang, Fujian, eastern Guangdong, eastern and southern Jiangxi will experience continuous heavy to very heavy rainfall, while some areas like eastern and southern Taiwan, central and southern Fujian, and the eastern coast of Zhejiang will have heavy and torrential rains locally. Yesterday, the National Information Office of the National People's Congress organized a regular policy meeting to introduce flood control and drought relief efforts. Wang Daohe, the Vice Minister of the Emergency Management Department and Vice Minister of the Ministry of Water Resources, stated that China has entered a critical phase in flood control and drought relief. The current situation of flood control and drought relief in the country is generally stable. Wang Daohe mentioned that the overall rainfall in the country is relatively low, with significant spatial variations. From the beginning of the year to date, the average rainfall nationwide is 323 millimeters, which is 10% lower than the same period in normal years. Specifically, rainfall in southwestern and northern China, eastern and northwestern China, northern China, northeastern China, western Guangxi, western Hubei, and southeastern Yunnan is 20% to 100% higher than the normal levels during the same period. Moreover, the situation of floods in major rivers is stable, and fewer small and medium-sized rivers have exceeded the warning levels compared to previous years. Until now, 282 small and medium-sized rivers in the country have experienced floods above the warning level, which is less than in the same period in previous years. According to data from the Ministry of Water Resources, the amount of water from major rivers is significantly less, with water levels in major rivers during this period being 30% lower than usual. Water levels are also lower than normal, with the lowest levels in history recorded in the middle and lower reaches of the Yangtze River, Dongting Lake, and Beijing Lake during this period. Overall, the impact of floods and droughts is relatively mild, and various indicators are showing a decreasing trend. Compared to the 5-year average of the same period, the number of people affected by floods this year has decreased by 4.9%. Deaths and missing persons due to natural disasters have decreased by 85.1%. Emergency evacuations and resettlements have decreased by 90.4%, and direct economic losses have decreased by 76%. Regarding droughts, the number of people affected by droughts this year has decreased by 50.2%, and the affected crop area has decreased by 44.4% compared to the 5-year average of the same period. Wang Daohe also pointed out that the Ministry of National Defense has repeatedly organized joint discussions and evaluations involving meteorological, water conservancy, natural resource, and other departments. He also warned that this year, there have been extreme weather phenomena, and climate predictions may deviate from normal conditions. Extreme and localized weather conditions, such as regular heavy rains, flood-producing heavy rains, high temperatures, and heat waves, may be severe. In addition, serious floods may occur in some branches of the Songhua River, the middle reaches of the Heilongjiang River, the Yashusi Basin of the Huaihe River, the Taihu and Liaohe Rivers, and the lower reaches of the Yangtze River. Likewise, periodic droughts may occur in Inner Mongolia, Gansu, and other areas. Moreover, 4 aspects, including mountain flood disasters and geological hazards, floods in small and medium-sized rivers, floods in small and medium-sized reservoirs, and urban water logging, are crucial links in flood control and disaster relief work, which require high vigilance. Wei Nave, head of the National Reducing Natural Disasters and Public Services Division of the China Meteorological Administration, reported that since the flood season in 2023, the average rainfall nationwide is 288 millimeters, which is 10.6% lower than the same period in previous years, but extreme and localized features have become more prominent. According to statistics, there have been 20 heavy rainfall events across the country, and the daily rainfall of 16 national meteorological stations has exceeded historical extremes. Since June, 5 high-temperature events have occurred in northern China, and the maximum daily temperature of 26 national meteorological stations has exceeded historical extremes. Particularly, Beijing, Tianjin, Hebei, and the 4 provinces and autonomous regions of Tankan experienced the hottest June on record. Given the weather situation in August, Wang Awei forecasted that high temperatures in the Tankan Basin, western Gansu, and western Inner Mongolia will continue, with the highest temperatures generally between 35 to 38 degrees Celsius, locally exceeding 40 degrees Celsius. In August, temperatures in most areas of the country will be nearly equal to the same period in previous years. In this context, northwestern Inner Mongolia, southern Jiangsu, Zhejiang, southern Anhui, Jiangxi, Hubei, Hunan, Fujian, northwestern Guangxi, and northern Guangdong are experiencing temperatures 1 to 2 degrees Celsius higher than normal. Regarding typhoons, the northwestern Pacific Ocean in the South China Sea will have 4 to 6 tropical depressions, including 2 to 3 tropical depressions making landfall or affecting China. The main trajectory is west-northwestward, primarily affecting coastal and southern China. In the upcoming week, the most concerning issue is the impact of Typhoon Doksuri on China. According to the forecast from the Central Meteorological and Hydrological Observatory, Typhoon Doksuri will make landfall on the coast from central Fujian to eastern Guangdong around Friday. Affected by the typhoon, Taiwan, eastern Zhejiang, Fujian, eastern Guangdong, and southeastern Guangxi will experience continuous heavy to very heavy rainfall. Some areas, such as eastern and southern Taiwan, central and southern Fujian, and the eastern coast of Zhejiang, will experience heavy and localized rainfall. Currently, the typhoon has entered a period of strong activity. After making landfall, Typhoon Doksuri may penetrate further inland and move northward, which will have a greater impact on the eastern regions of the country. It is recommended to prepare for the typhoon and strengthen flood control measures for small and medium-sized rivers, floods, geological disasters, urban waterlogging, and strong winds, said Wainave. Wainave also introduced that by the end of July, the rain belt in China mainly covers eastern Hebei, southern Liaoning, Shandong, southern Jiangsu, Zhejiang, northern Guangdong, Sichuan, Hunan, Yan'an, and other areas. It is expected that in August, the rainfall in northern Henan and most of northeast China, southern Guangxi, Hainan, western Sichuan, and Yan'an will be 20 to 50% higher than normal. The rainfall in southern Zhejiang, most of Fujian, most of Guangdong, and northern Guangxi will be 20 to 50% lower than normal. Recently, the Comprehensive National Fire Rescue Team has been involved in rescuing urban flooding and geological disasters in various places. Lakvin Kwang, Deputy Director of the National Fire and Rescue Department, said that since this year's flood season, until Monday of this week, the National Fire Rescue Team has participated in 3,483 emergency rescue operations for urban flooding and geological disasters, mobilizing 4,641 vehicles and 481 boats, rescuing 1,174 trapped and distressed individuals, and evacuating more than 7,200 people. That concludes today's news. Please leave any contributions in the comments section. If you found this helpful, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for your attention, and see you next time.
The recent information also marks the end of the comprehensive news bulletin for today. We will continue to update the latest information in the upcoming bulletin. Please subscribe to the channel to stay updated. For now, goodbye and see you again.